You recall on his inauguration day, May 29th, right at the Eagle Square, while the dust was said to settle from the hooves of the horses that carried the cavalry troops. Mr. President announced with all candor, if you don't mind, I also add, if you don't mind, I added that with all the arrogance a president could carry, that subsidy is gone and is gone. It was so cavalier. At the time he was doing that, subsidy was expected to run till the end of June. So he was breaching the Appropriation Act. And you know the consequences of breaching the Appropriation Act is an impeachable offense. If a president violates the Appropriation Act without recourse to the National Assembly, it's a very serious offense. He did that. 2 or 3 days afterwards, the NNPC raised, the pump price of PMS. It was staggered. At Abuja here, 530 something naira per liter. Of course, we were all alarmed, like other Nigerians, and we sounded out. I will give out a notice that we will protest against this. Nigerians were outraged and were waiting. But when government, in good conscience, reached out to us, we said, okay, let's listen to the government. And we had a meeting at the villa. There were 2 meetings, principally speaking. Yeah. And the second meeting, while it was holding, government acted in bad faith and procured, by way of procuring a restraining order from the court to stop the protest, why it lured us into the villa to be negotiating. And Suleiman, let me tell you this. Even the process of that service was deficient in law. You do not unilaterally do substituted service. You got to obtain that through the leave of the court. They didn't come to serve us notice and we rejected it, but they came in a truck, 3 truckloads of policemen, and they came and pasted that notice while we were holding conversation in the villa. Nonetheless, we said, for the benefit of Nigerians, let us listen to government for everybody's sake. And after our conversations, we eventually agreed, and I'm going to read verbatim to you briefly.
Go ahead.
The government quickly. And TUC and LC to establish a joint committee to review the proposal for any wage increase or award and establish a framework and timeline for implementation. 2, the federal government, the TUC and LC to review World Bank Finance Cash Transfer Scheme and propose inclusion of low-income earners in the program. The federal government, the TUC and LC to revive the CNG conversion program earlier agreed with labor centers in 2021 and work out detailed implementation and timing. 4, the labor centers and federal government to review issues hindering effective delivery in the education sector and propose solutions for implementation. 5, the labor centers and the federal government to review and establish the framework for completion of the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries.
Okay.
6, the federal government to provide a framework for the maintenance of roads and expansion of rail networks across the country. And finally, all other demands submitted by TUC, the federal government, will be assessed by the Joint Committee. So you could see that these were issues that cut across not just workers, every Nigerian. And we signed. And looking back now, we are glad that we signed this document. Had we not signed it, some elements today would have been saying labor busybody. If they had they allowed the government, the outcome would have been good. But we signed, and what has that outcome become? First and foremost, government acted in breach. It didn't keep to any of these agreements. 2, barely a month after, prices went up. Okay? Government did not accept liability. NNPC did not accept liability. They say it was market forces. Who are market forces, or which are market forces? Nigerians became alarmed and found out that this journey has no destination.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Any talk of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's impeachment has been rendered moot, especially with his two stooges planted in the National Assembly. And despite an ongoing case at the Presidential Election Petition Court instigated by the opposition Al-Haji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi of the PDP and LP respectively, until that gets resolved, Babade Kampe. President Tinubu increased his grip on Nigeria's politics by pushing forward his candidates as Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives. It will mean his appointees are easily confirmed by Parliament and his proposed laws are given quick assent. Tinubu took a gamble by openly endorsing Senator Godswill Akpabio as Senate President and Tajuddin Abbas as Speaker. The move infuriated some key members of his party, the opposition as well as activists, who believe doing so undermines the independence of the legislative arm of government, which has the constitutional power of oversight. President Tinubu has successfully planted loyalists like Godswill Akpabio and Tajuddin Abbas in key leadership positions in parliament. While supporters say this would ensure a smooth relationship between the executive and legislative arms of government, critics think otherwise. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Bye.